starting here by a table because the first exercise I want to show you is an exercise for stretching out the hamstrings. And when you stretch out the hamstrings, you want to try and stretch out one hamstring at a time often. And the easiest way to do that is if you have a table or a park bench, any flat surface, that it has to be lower than your hip joint so that you can rest one leg on the table and the other leg can be bent. It's important to have the other leg bent because then there's no tension on this side of the leg. There's no tension on the hamstring on this side. The only hamstring you're stretching is the one on the other side. When you do any stretch, you want to take a gentle position so that the muscle you're stretching, in this case it's the muscle on the bottom of the leg that runs from the back of the calf all the way up to the sits bone on the bottom of your pelvis. You want to keep that muscle relaxed so it can stretch. If a muscle is tense, it cannot stretch. So if you bend so far forward that your knee bends like this, that's this muscle tensing up, and at that point you're not stretching it anymore. So you need to keep it completely relaxed. Stretch it out. I'm sitting with just half of my pelvis on the table. The other half, my hip and leg, are not on the table. This side is on the table. My knee is straight, the hamstring is relaxed. And what I want to do now is bend forward. You can bend forward either with your lower back straight, which will stop you very quickly. If you keep your lower back straight, then your whole pelvis is being pulled forward, and you don't get very far, but that's okay. It's a good stretch for the hamstring that way. When you've stretched it out this way for a few seconds, you can then, if you want, bend your upper body forward, bring your hands down alongside your leg, and let your upper body move forward as far as possible. Again, making sure that the knee does not bend. Eventually, if you're limber enough, you can reach further and further down your leg until you can finally take hold of your foot and use it to hold your leg in place while you gently bend your upper body forward. Always remembering you want to keep these muscles on the bottom of the leg relaxed, or on the back of the leg as relaxed as possible. And hold the position. You can, if you want to, you can bring the other arm out here to help the weight of your body be pulled forward without using any muscular effort. The more weight that you have out this direction, the easier it is for your upper body to move forward, give a stretch to the muscle back there without any effort on your part. Then, once you've stretched out this hamstring, obviously what you want to do is stretch out the other one. So you have to turn around, face the other direction. As I said, you can do this on a park bench. Park benches are excellent for this. Or any table, as long as it's low enough that this knee will bend a little bit. It doesn't have to bend very much, a couple of inches is plenty. Sit with the other hip on the table. You can sit nice and straight. Make sure the knee is straight and the hamstring is relaxed. Bend gently forward. Hold the position without moving. Yoga positions are called asanas, which means not moving positions, because there's very little movement. As the muscle gradually relaxes, you can stretch a little bit further and move a little bit further forward. And as I said, if you want, you can take the upper body, you can relax it forward like that, and put your arms forward, rest them on your leg. Eventually, if you're flexible enough, you can hold your toes, extend one arm if you want, and get a real good stretch on the back of the hamstring. But you can just start off, just starting and sitting upright like this, with the leg flat like this. That will begin to stretch your hamstring, depending on how flexible you are. This may be all you need to do, but it's a good way to start stretching out the hamstring and the lower back area. Now we'll move to the other room. We'll move back to the gymnastics room and we'll show you some more stretches for your lower back. these yoga exercises will be primarily for spinal flexibility, and some of the ones that we'll be doing will be, for instance, a straightforward bend like this. But your back may not be too flexible to begin with. You may not be able to bend very far forward, and it may take a lot of effort on the front, with the muscles of the front part of your body to bend forward at first. So what you can do is sit back against a wall. Scoot your pelvis as close to the back of the wall as you can, and the wall will support the middle of your upper back. And you can sit here just like this. Keep your knees straight and your legs straight in front of you. And this may be a perfectly good position for you to get lots of stretch just right in this position. And you can relax in this position for 5 minutes or so. You can put on a kitchen timer and watch TV, listen to music, sit and meditate, while this position gradually stretches out your back. You'll find that if your pelvis is farther away from the wall, you won't get quite as much a stretch. And the closer you get the back of your pelvis to the wall, the better a stretch you'll get, the more of a stretch you'll feel. Don't go too far. Go just to where you can go without having your knees bend. If you go so far back that your knees bend like that and come up, that means your hamstrings have tightened up. And those are the muscles that run from the back of your calf up to the sits bone that you sit on. These are the muscles we're trying to stretch out. So make sure that whatever position you take, you can do it keeping your legs straight. After you sit in this position for a few moments, you may be able, for a minute or so, you may be able to scoot your pelvis a little further back. That'll be true with all of these yoga exercises. After you hold them for half a minute or a minute, then you'll find that your muscles will stretch out a little bit and you can move into a little bit more extreme a position. But you should start out with a very gentle position, keeping the muscle that you're trying to stretch as relaxed as possible, because muscles will only stretch out if they are relaxed. The muscle fibers are being pulled apart gently like that, and that will only happen if the muscle's relaxed. As soon as the muscle tenses up, what happens is these fibers grab each other. The little filaments in each muscle cell grab each other, and they won't pull any further. So as soon as the muscle tenses up, you can stretch and stretch that muscle and you won't do any good. The muscle has to be relaxed so that the filaments can slide apart a little bit. And that's what we're looking for. All right, so after you've sat in this position for a while, then you can start doing some other gentle warm-ups for your back. One of them starts with an all-fours position with your palms and knees on the mat and sitting down toward your heels. If the top of your foot is not very flexible, this may not be comfortable for you. You'll come down just as far as you can and hold that position, gently stretching out your lower back. Bend your elbows and lower your upper body forward as far as you can. Hold and breathe. Always keep breathing during these exercises. Even though you're not moving your body, make sure that your breathing is moving in and out. Now eventually, if you can sit back down on your heels, lower your upper body forward, you can get to the point where you rest your forehead on the mat or the carpet or whatever you're working on, and then put your arms back alongside your body and rest in the complete turtle position. This is a very restful position for your back, and it gives a wonderful stretch to all the muscles down the sides of the spine. Whenever you've had enough of that, you can come back up and sit on the mat in whatever position is comfortable for you. Now this is a nice thick mat that I'm using here. At home, I just use a sheet spread on a carpet. You don't have to have a real thick mat underneath you, but you don't want to be working on a perfectly hard surface like this linoleum, because then the bones, the vertebrae of your spine would press very uncomfortably onto that. It's hard to do yoga on concrete or a very hard surface like that. It's easy to do on anything that's as soft as grass or a carpet or anything. And it should be a fairly firm surface underneath you. It shouldn't give too much under your body or you'll sort of lose your balance. Now, we can do the turtle in an upside down position. The one we were just doing, we can do it in an upside down position, resting on our back. We can bring our knees up toward our chest and put our hands on the outside of our knees and just very gently hold the knees in place. This will stretch out the muscles of the lower back and hips nice and easily. It won't stretch out the hamstrings so much because our legs are completely bent, but that's okay. Right now we're just stretching out the lower back muscles basically. Make sure to keep breathing as you hold the position. And now we can do this position using just one leg at a time. Put both feet flat on the mat with your knees bent. And just bring your left knee up toward your chest. Put your hands on it. Hold it in place. And slide your right leg out. And rest it down on the mat. Rest your heel on the mat. You may only be able to go this far, that's fine. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. You're getting a stretch now in the hip that's of the leg that's bent and the top of the thigh of the straight leg. Hold the position and breathe. It's good to hold these yoga positions for 30 seconds or a minute, each one depending on how your body feels. You don't want to do it so long that it really starts to hurt you. You want to do it so that it feels more and more comfortable. Now we can switch to the other side. We'll bring the other knee up to the chest and extend this leg. Top of this thigh is stretching out a little bit. This knee is bent. This hip is being stretched down here. And breathe. Try and breathe down in your lower back and stomach all the way through these exercises. Try and do abdominal breathing so that your stomach expands each time you breathe in. And when the expansion is complete, you simply relax your stomach and your chest and let the air flow effortlessly out of your body. After this stretch, we can now do one called the pelvic tilt. The soles of our feet are flat on the floor, our hands are flat on the mat. And what we're going to do is tuck our pelvis forward and up, push down with our feet, and gradually lift our pelvis up and raise our lower back. If you have problems with your lower back and this hurts you, don't do it. Don't do any of these exercises that you can feel are hurting your body in a way that it shouldn't be moved. Then you can lower down gradually. Relax your back completely for a moment. And then if you want to, you can roll down onto the tip of your tailbone, arching your lower back slightly, tilting your pelvis back this way. But be very careful if you have lower back problems with this. Flattening the pelvis, flattening the spine against the mat, tucking the pelvis up, lifting it up, holding it up, letting it come down as smoothly as you can, and then rotating the pelvis so that the tailbone turns down onto the mat. The pelvic tilt. Okay. Now we'll do another one for lower back flexibility. This one's called the cat. We start on all fours once again. And we're going to be alternately arching our back and curving it forward, just as we were doing a moment ago. Except, of course, we're facing the opposite direction. And we're going to extend one leg at a time. First, extend your right leg back, so it's in a straight line with the rest of your body. Look forward, arch your lower back slightly, and lift your hip up, lift your leg up. Hold for a moment. Then, drop your head, look under your body, look toward your knee, bring your knee up toward your forehead as close as you can, just wherever is comfortable for you. Hold for a moment, then extend. Looking forward, raising the foot up, breathing in. Breathe out, look down toward the knee, bring the knee up toward the forehead. Extend your leg, look forward, breathe in, arching the lower back. One more time, exhale forward, bring the knee up forward, look at it. Then Extend, breathing in, and come down to all fours. Now once we've done that on one side of the body, we want to do it on the other side. So, resting on all fours, extend your other leg back, hold it back, look forward, breathe in, then breathe out, bring your knee up toward your forehead, look at it. Inhale, extend your leg back. Exhale, bring the leg forward. Inhale, extend the leg back. One more time, exhale forward, looking at the knee. Last one, exhale back. And lower your leg down to all fours. There's more movement in that particular exercise than there is in most of our yoga positions. Now let's try the turtle again, having warmed up our lower back. See if we can get down a little closer toward our heels. Sit back down toward your heels with your soles facing upward and soles of your feet facing upward. Sit down, lower your upper body forward. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. If you can get your forehead down on the mat, then you can bring your hands back along your body and rest in this position. Once you're flexible enough to get in this position, you can rest in this position for a long period of time. It's extremely comfortable and it requires no effort at all. However, right now, if you're ready to come back to all fours, do so. Come back up to all fours. And sit on the mat in whatever position is comfortable for you.